Hey, friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. I am really excited to talk to you today about one of my favorite things, growing your subscriber list. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are enjoying your summer, that you had a great, if you are here in the US, that you had a fantastic 250th birthday celebration. Drop a hello in the chat. Hey, guys, good to see you. Um, Awesome. Nice to see you. I want to get started because I really I try to do my best to offer trainings that start and end in a reasonable amount of time because I respect your time and I know you are all just as busy um, uh, busy in your business. And here in Connecticut, it's a beautiful day after like 3 days of terrible rain. Let's get started here. All right. So today we're going to be talking about growing your subscriber base. One of my favorite tools that I use in my tool chest is email marketing. It's one of those things that I feel like is one of those foundational tools that can um, help you to not only build that know, like, and trust. So kind of warm up a new lead, also that customer journey, and then just retaining them, kind of building that relationship. And I know it sounds like, well, email, why email? Because here's the thing, friends, it is in their inbox, right? So always remember that. And it's one of those tools that I would concentrate on more than others to help you to grow your business. So as we get started here, give me 1 second. I'm okay. Perfect. Some of the things we're going to talk about today is permission-based email. I'm all about making sure that somebody has raised their hand, checked the box, and said yes to being on your email list. We're going to talk about some strategies on how to entice people to sign up and how to use constant contact. A little bit about me. My name is April Woodcock. I own Touching Clients. We're a digital marketing agency here in Southeastern Connecticut. I'm also an authorized local expert and certified partner with Constant Contact. I have been with Constant Contact as a partner for, I'm dating myself, but upwards of 17 plus years. And it is one of my favorite tools. Why? Variety of reasons. It's cost effective. It's very easy to use as a business owner, especially if you don't have a lot of time. It has some beautifully branded templates. And it's actually over the years has grown into kind of offering some other things that help support list growth and email marketing from you can actually do scheduled social media posts. You can do event management, which I do a lot of events. So I love that. And so you will, as we get started here, because this is in partnership with Constant Contact, I do have an offer for you at the end. So I will just let you know that ahead of time. And please do drop questions in the chat. I am happy to answer them. All right. So let's kind of talk about the different types of marketing tools that you can use. So, email marketing is one of them. SMS marketing, which is your text marketing, that's a tool that you can use. Automation. So, there's many tools that do. So, there's kind of different levels of what we call a customer relationship management tool. So, CRM. And Constant Contact can be a CRM. Your email service provider, whatever you're using, could be a customer relation CRM tool. Marketing automation means where you can actually create automated email sequences. So it could be an abandoned cart. So if somebody was doing e-commerce, abandoned cart email, or it could be that somebody did a webhook where they downloaded a guide and then you're nurturing them. Digital ads is part of also kind of small business marketing tools as well as social media and kind of just thinking about ways to grow your list. So let's talk about the list. There's money in the list, friends. I think a lot of times people forget that. And the thing about growing your list, it should be part of your top of your marketing strategy. We have all these tools, social media included, and it's one of those things where people can see your posts on social media, but they haven't given you any information for you to stay in touch with them. So always remember that. So growing your list is a great way to stay top of mind awareness. So how do we build that permission-based list? Let's start with the big question and the elephant in the room that always gets asked. Should I purchase a list? Absolutely not. Do not purchase a list. It feels like a fast way to definitely grow your email list because sometimes it takes it's slow and steady. It's a marathon. Slow and steady wins the race. But typically what happens is if you purchase a list, you will, first of all, they don't know your brand name, they don't know anything about you. You've ended up in their inbox. This includes scraping emails on LinkedIn, friends. That's happened to me. But what it does is it really kind of sends out this spammy message to people that are receiving it, like, who is this person? Why are they spamming me? It also can blacklist your domain because there is such a thing as called the CAN spam law. And the CAN spam law is a real thing where people can report you as spam, and your domain can get, so basically your email can get blacklisted. There's a whole bunch of steps that you have to go through to get out of that. But basically, it makes it so you're not able to email anyone, and it becomes a huge problem. I actually have worked with clients that have done this. It is a process to get yourself out there, out of the Xing of being a spammer. And here's the thing, friends: you don't want to be known. You don't want to be known like that, right? You want to be known for being able to give good content for people that want it. Because why? When people sign up for your content and you're delivering an email based on what they're interested in, they're more likely to eventually do business or repeat business with you. So, should we purchase an email list? No, 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 no. Definitely not, friends. So, think about it. Security, people get worried that their security has been compromised. They will definitely unsubscribe, which also kind of marks a whole bunch of things. So always make sure it's permission. And the good news is that the tools that we have online now, so whether it be a contact form on your website, if you use WordPress or a web builder, your email service providers, your CRMs, they have forms that help you to be able to easily capture the permission to say yes. So how do we get to them to say yes? It could be yes verbally. Yes, it verbally is a way. However, it's one of those kind of tricky, what do they call it? Well, it's just a little tricky. But yes, if somebody asks to be added to your email address or you've asked them and they said yes, essentially that's permission. But it's very hard to prove permission after the fact, especially if you're using unsolicited email addresses. A checkbox on the bottom of a form, or it could be an online form, or if you're hosting events, you can have that as a checkbox where by signing up for this event, you're also signing up for information, regular newsletters, events coming up, things like that. So the goal is we want to entice people to say yes, because when they say yes, now they are in our list. And think about it. When was the last time you signed up for an email list? People are more likely to give their email over anything else, before a phone number, anything else. Why? I think it's because although we've given permission to our inbox, it still feels a little bit private. But think about the last time you've given your email list. So your email, it could have been, I can tell you, I actually signed up for an event. I signed up for an event yesterday. I was signing up for a free webinar that I was interested in the content. I also wanted to see the content delivery of how that person was delivering the content and just kind of ideas, and also learn a little bit more about the subject matter. So, how did I sign up? I signed up through, they had an ad on Instagram, and it actually had a pop up with an email box just like here on the screen. So that's how I signed up. And think about the places you've signed up. I've also been in the store where they've asked me to sign up for rewards. Would you like your rewards where you make money back, or you get discount or $5 off? I've signed up for those. Think about the last time that you've signed up for an email list. It's definitely something where we do it more often than we think, especially if you work online a lot. I think we tend to probably sign up for too much stuff sometimes, but places you can look for list growth. So in person is definitely a place. So you can, if you are a local shop, you can have it a lot of times at checkout, you can have it digitally. You can have an email sign up where it's just a handwritten. Online is a great place to collect it. Everywhere you touch your audience, so your social media business page profiles, it could be your It could be your website, everywhere you touch your audience. So in person could be a QR code on your business card as well. And then in print, if you use print, if you use any kind of marketing collateral, I would always encourage you to have a QR code to a form where people could sign up. Think of all the touch points. Even in your email signature is a great place to sign up, because you never know what might entice a person to sign up. So when you're asking some ideas for signing up in person, obviously when they're making a purchase, if you are at events, that is definitely a place. So if you are, I actually was talking to somebody earlier who's going to have a booth. One of the questions that I asked was, how are you collecting email addresses? And they said, oh, you know what, we're writing down information. And I said, well, you should have a one of those stand-up little kind of frames with a QR code just to join your email list. So maybe they don't want to give you all this information, but maybe they'll give you their email. Also, Constant Contact has a list builder app where you can actually download it if you have a Constant Contact account, and it will automatically populate into your lists. Website, social media, email signature, we talked about. If you have donations coming in from your donors for nonprofits, definitely use that. Text to join is also a great opportunity. So not only we talked about the QR code on marketing collateral, but definitely text to join is an opportunity as well, where you can have people text a number. They put in a certain number and they text it to whatever, and now they're automatically in your list. That is great, especially if you're doing speaking engagements in front of large audiences. That's a great way to have a slide with that information on it. Also, it's a great thing if you're in a local location to have that as well, because a lot of times using a QR code in some places isn't always as easy. So by having that text to join, it's a little bit easier than having to try to get a phone to scan way across a room. All right, how do we entice people to sign up? We need to understand why they subscribe, right? And so let's start with promotions. So promotions, discounts, sorry. Think about ways to get people to subscribe. So it could be understanding, like I work with a client that does every Wednesday. We do them actually every other now, Webinar Wednesday. So we do webinars, and this has been the whole premise of building their email list. They have built well over 15,000 subscribers just from this weekly webinar. And one of the reasons they subscribe is the content that we're delivering, right? So other times people subscribe for discounts. I am definitely that girl that will sign up to get 10% off, 15% off. Or it could be for interest in a nonprofit organization, to show support for an organization. So understanding your audience and what they're interested in, what will entice them to subscribe on your social channels, on your email, or excuse me, on your website, in your email signature. Think about what you can provide to your audience that's going to get them to pull the trigger and just add in their first name and their email, because that's all you need to get started. So the big thing is we want to make sure that we're very clear on the expectations. So a lot of times people don't want to sign up for things because they're worried that they're going to get emailed excessively. So how often are you going to email them? Set that expectation at sign up. So if it's weekly, if it's bi-weekly, if it's monthly and periodic events, set that expectation. That doesn't mean that you can't change that over time when you communicate to them. You just want to make sure upfront you're setting it. Are you going to share my information? So that's a question that people get, especially in days of security and privacy. They want to know if you're going to share it, and you're going to be very clear. I do not share your information. It is only for me to email you. You are not a wholesale email reseller where you're selling emails to other people, which is the worst. I know all of us have definitely encountered that, where we've come across and we've signed up on, let's see, I signed up for I was looking at a home equity loan, and I made the mistake of going to one of those places where I put in my email, and then I've been inundated with email. They clearly sold my email. They clearly sold my phone number. I missed that in the fine print. You definitely don't want that. It's also great to have a privacy policy. There is some really great, and actually, I'll put my email if you're interested. I have a great templated privacy policy that just covers you. It's something you should have on your website, anyways. It just talks about kind of data and that what you collect and what you don't collect, and what you and that you don't obviously sell their email information. And then the other question is, can they opt out? So they can opt out at any time. The nice thing about using an email service provider is they can opt out at the bottom of an email, no problem. When you send from like a Outlook or a Gmail, they don't have the option to unsubscribe. It's usually junk mail. So you want to make sure wherever you go in your kind of email marketing journey that you do use an email service provider to make it nice and easy. You don't have to think about it. By law, you have 7 days to remove people from your email list. But you want to set those expectations for people up front. You want to make sure that the sign up is easy. A lot of times people think that when they're creating a form, they're looking at it as, from a business perspective, like, I need all this information. I need their company name, I need their website, I need their phone number, I need this. You have to remember, friends, is that when you're first starting a relationship, if somebody's come to your website for the first time and they have an interest in whatever you're offering for content. So maybe it's a blog post that they've come to, and now they see that, oh, I want to get on this email so I can see what content they deliver on a regular basis. You want to make it as easy as possible. Typically, a first name and an email is all that you need to get started. As you build your relationship, or as like maybe you're doing a guide where they can download, initially first name and email address. And then over time, as you do some drip marketing, maybe you set up a nurture campaign where you're kind of reinforcing some of those ideas of whatever download they opted into, then maybe ask them for more information. But I would encourage you to, less is more. And I think people forget that, because you have to kind of take a step back. Sometimes we get very excited. Well, I do, but I'm sure many of you do. We get excited about like a product or a service or something. We're like, we want all this information so we can reach out to them. And you can put a phone number, or you can put a zip code, and just make it optional. Don't make it required. But if somebody sees a daunting form, they're not going to fill it out. Less chances. I'm not going to say they're not. You might get a few, but you might get much less. Make it conversational. So it can be definitely something where it's simple. Make sure it's in your voice and brand. And then also make sure that whatever it is that they're signing up for, they understand the value of it. If it seems of value to them, you're solving that problem, it's going to make it a lot easier for somebody to sign up for something. Make sure the expectations are clear. Also go back to kind of looking at making sure they understand those time frames of communications, of how often you're going to communicate to them. So here's an example of a sign up form. Very simple. It just has email, and it says get 15% off. And it talks about enter your email address to get your coupon and exclusive access to more discounts. After that, you'll receive no more than 2 emails each month. So the form isn't committing to when the email is coming, just no more than 2 a month. And then they have a small privacy policy underneath. Simple form, email address. This one here is to sign up for an adoption guide. So again, just an email. First name, I like first name too, because first name allows you to personalize your email, but you can absolutely start with just an email address. And this one here talks about it. So it doesn't give how many emails through. Well, it says through our monthly email. So just being clear and set those expectations. This one here is sign up for our access to our free ebook. And then it says in the future, you'll receive no more than 3 emails each month containing. So however you word it, you just want to make sure. And I do say lean on, like, you're not going to put, I would discourage you from putting, you're going to get an email on Friday at 10 a.m. Every Friday. I would make it a little bit more general, because it gives you some, it makes sure that you're delivering on your promise. I have put, sign up for our biweekly email with periodic events. So it kind of opens the door that we might send you more emails for a periodic event, but we're going to send you every other week an email. So it's all about the wording and making sure that it's upfront. So segmentation is one of the tools that when you're building your email list, so we go from form, when somebody signs up for your form, and say they sign up for this guide, this ebook about 10 essential steps to growing your business on social media. When somebody signs up, I encourage everyone to learn about segmentation. You want to make sure that when somebody signs up for a list, and that's your first initial response of the relationship, that you segment them into whether it be a list or a tag, that you're identifying this contact came into your email list this way. Why? It helps personalize communications and build a relationship over time. And I think that's really important. Segmentation, when you don't have segmentation, I actually worked with a list recently that had 20,000 contacts, and they have people that, it was a nonprofit. And so they have donors, they have clients, they have sponsors, they have partners, and they're all in one. So it makes it very difficult to communicate with just the donors, right? So maybe you're having a donor campaign. Maybe you are a nonprofit and you have a donor campaign coming up. You want to focus on the donors, right? To ask for money. You don't want to be focusing on the clients you serve, because you don't want them to donate. You're getting those donations to help them for those services. So segmentation makes a world of difference, and it starts with your form. It also allows you to talk to them more effectively. So, for example, when we talk about that ebook about 10 essentials for building your social media, if I have a tag on the contact record that came in about social media, that ebook, now I know that if I'm having an event on social media, those are the people that I want to talk to first. That's the email that I want to send out to and kind of hone in, because they raised their hand and said, I'm interested in social media based on how they came into my list. It helps you to talk to them more effectively. It also helps you to sell more effectively down the way, because you have an idea of the types of content that people are interested in. And it also helps you to create future content too. So, kind of segmentation, when you're looking at kind of just a short breakdown, you could have website signups where it's educational. So, when people sign up for events, then you could do event highlights after it. It also allows you to send for replays. So, like for example, um, in Constant Contact, I have the ability to, when I create an event, I can attach it to my Zoom, or I can, and so they can automatically get registered. It's linked together. They get registered for the event. But now I'm also putting them in a list. So if they're interested in websites, they're coming to an event where I'm talking about websites, I can send them the replay. I can send them an offer. I can talk with them about websites. And I can also kind of track those analytics of the interest over time. In-store signups could be loyalty rewards. That's a great way to segment a list. But it's really about understanding their interests. So segmentation is kind of equal to interests. And the big thing that you want to remember, and I did good here. Gosh, I don't know. I went quick here. So if you have questions, please feel free to drop them. But the big thing is that asking for permission is key. I will tell you that using when we talk about showing value and kind of a webhook, or when you have an offer of a form, the best things you can do is offer something of value, whether it be, and I would definitely lean on the side of like a free webinar. I would offer a guide. I don't ever encourage people to give services away for free, but sometimes people like to offer a free consultation. It might be where you have a quick, so we actually have, we don't have it on our current website, but we're thinking about bringing it back. We used to have an email sign up where it did an SEO evaluation of your website. So you got a report. And that was actually a very cool email sign up, because somebody would put in their email, they would have their website they put in their URL, and it would run a report. And then what we did from there was we offered like a marketing, we set up a email campaign and talk to them a little bit about kind of the benefits of updating their website. So like image URLs and image alt text naming. So it was all about search engine optimization. So think about when you're asking for permission, what are you offering them? What's in it for them? And I think that's where we are in kind of the online world. What's in it for them? How are you going to entice them? So AI definitely helps you as a resource to make it easier to create different types of content. I would use it to your benefit as a resource. I am definitely of the mindset to make sure that you are challenging AI and you're not using it verbatim. Make it your own with your voice and vision. But it will help you to kind of create content a little bit faster and a little bit more effectively with your time. And then think about working with your team or coming up with a strategy to build email addresses over time. So, everything that you're doing in terms of how you're touching your audience. So, if you're in person networking, if you own a location, if you're online, where you're touching your audience and where can you grow your email list? And here's the thing, friends, you don't need a huge list to start. You can start with just a few email addresses and start emailing them on a regular basis. It's always great to get in the habit of consistency off the bat. But if you kind of follow the rules, and these are things I have to tell you over time that I've learned. Like I go back to some of my lists in my own constant contact, and I wasn't a good steward of what I'm telling you today because I didn't know. I didn't know when I first started. I was learning. Um, but I can tell you that by putting good systems in place and good processes of what's in it for them, I'm making them an offer of a guide, creating my form and putting them into a list, and then creating a marketing, a small little nurture email funnel. That helps build the relationship off the bat. The setup is the longest part, but what's nice is it's a repeatable process. So once you start getting in the habit of doing that, it becomes way easier to build your email list over time, for sure. And it just starts with the strategy. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to work perfect the first time. That means that maybe it does, which would be fantastic. Sometimes we have to tweak it. Also, the best part about building your email list, it really gives you insight to what your audience wants from you. So I have done webinars on different top subject matters where um, things where I thought would be a great great webinar turnout, and they were terrible. Why? Because my audience that I connect to, it doesn't resonate with them. So just keep that in mind as you're building your email list. Sometimes content doesn't stick the first time for whatever reason with your audience, and that's okay. But what I would say is keep going. Email is going to be the money in the list because these are the people that you've built trust with. And over time, they will buy from you. I've had people come back that have attended a webinar or a training. um, I had a company where they had been to an in-person training when I was talking about constant contact, and we were talking about email marketing, and they came back to me 3 years later. 3 years later, they were on my email list. They came back 3 years later, and it turned out to be like a 3-year contract of a very nice account for my business. So it does pay it forward. Slow and steady wins the race. So um, just keep that in mind as you're building your email list. So I did mention that it is a constant contact presentation, and constant contact does have a lot of great tools that can help you to build your email list. Plus, they have a lot of great training. Their customer service is awesome. I love them. But they will help you. They have templates to choose from that are pretty simple to get started. You can start building your list pretty immediately, and you do not need to be tech heavy on the skills. Um, and at the end of the day, the one thing about email, and I love this, is that on average, um, email drives a return on investment of $36 for every dollar spent. So if you had 200 people on your email list, so think about it from that perspective. 36 might sound like a small number, but over time, that becomes a really nice payday for you and your business. And again, email is the first thing that people offer before anything else. And we do not need to overthink it. I think sometimes people overthink, oh my gosh, it's so much. And it doesn't need to be a lot of content. It's quality over quantity. Always remember that. And your email is a delivery tool that's going to drive people to take action. So take action, whether they sign up for a webinar or it might be to your website. Email can be your really best friend of your marketing tools in your inbox. All right. So I do want to kind of, these are some of the tools that Constant Contact offers. They have a campaign builder. They actually have a great little AI component where you can put in what your event is and it will create social posts, email, and all of the above for you. And then you can go in and tweak it. So, and it is one of those tools that I would say one of the reasons that have stuck with them in a partnership for 17 plus years is, again, I cater to small businesses and I value your time. And I do think that it makes it a lot easier. It's an easy tool to use and it has great customer service. So if you're not using Constant Contact and you want to give it a try, there's a free trial. If you scan this QR code, and if you decide that you are ready to kind of you're going to scan it. Make sure that you take a picture of this screen or screenshot this with 330p. You get 30% off the first 3 months. So I would encourage you to do that. Let me look and see if there's any questions. All right. Hi, guys. Hi, Robert. Hi, Angie. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Angie. Good to see everybody. Does anybody have any questions? Well, I'm going to drop in my email, and you are always welcome to email me. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Oops. I don't know what just happened there. I'll do that one more time. That's a great question, Jennifer. It depends on the plan that you choose, but it can be as little as I think it's like $30 a month. $30 a month is one of the. That's a great question, and I should know that off the top of my head. Hold on one second. I'm going to double check that for you. So, but I'm pretty sure it starts off at 20. No, I'm sorry. It starts off at $10 if you do annually. If you do monthly, it's $12. And then kind of the standard plan, which the standard plan is $29. But what it does, so let me tell you the difference. So, I'm sorry, it's 35 monthly or 29 annually. So the difference between the light and the standard is that the light, when you send an email, you can send an email, but there's no resend to non-openers. So resend to non-openers, basically that's a great help to getting people to open your email. So for example, if I sent an email today at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I can then schedule a resend to what we call non-openers. So people that haven't opened your emails, they are on Monday. Say it's today's Wednesday, I'll send it on Monday at 10 a.m. And what it allows me to do is I actually can change the subject line too. So the goal is to get obviously people to open your email. So that comes on the standard plan. But the light plan works for a lot of people just getting started with email marketing. If you're just getting started, I think it's a great place to start, and then you can grow from there. And that's something where you want to look at even just researching tools and not whether or not you use Constant Contact or not. I would definitely look at the tools and make sure that they're a good fit for what you're looking to do in your business and that you can grow with it. That's the big thing. Choose a tool that you can grow with for whatever the needs are of your business. I think with the other thing that I like is that you can A/B test in standard. You get access to events where if you do any kind of webinars or events, you have that kind of landing page. So that's also a nice feature. Yep, I'm putting my email in here. So, okay, there's my email. And I will drop the link in here. But you're welcome to email me with any questions that you have. typically, so it's the summer, so I don't always, I definitely, I am doing a lighter webinar schedule, but because I'm on vacation in a few weeks, but I would encourage you to follow me, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you're welcome to join my email list, and I'd be happy to, and you'll see I do regular webinars. I do them weekly once we get back into the fall. So the summer's a little bit less, but in the fall, I'll do more webinars. And I don't do them just on email marketing. I do them on digital marketing. So I do them on Facebook. I might talk about Google My Business. I might talk about Google Analytics. So we do, and they're typically, my goal is always like we're a little bit over. I try to get the trainings done within 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops, because I definitely know that after that, you guys are busy. You're busy working in your business. So all right, my friends. Again, my name is April Woodcock. I'm with Touching Clients. I'm so glad that you stopped by today. If there's anything I can do for you, definitely reach out to me. My email is in the chat, and also the link with the Constant Contact link for sign up if you're interested in a free trial, plus the code for 30% off. Have a fantastic day, friends. I look forward to seeing you soon.